Am I good? All right, man. Okay. I could go mask off for this or no? Okay. All right. Morning, everybody. Good to see you guys here on the screen, of course. First day of practice. What you would expect out of our program, a lot of juice, a lot of energy. The culture seems to be getting stronger. Expectations for the way we do things are very clear. We explicitly explain that in our meetings. Older guys did a real good job of pushing the tempo. I could go on and on for a while, but it's probably best if I sit back and take your questions. So with that being said, go right ahead.
First question is going to be Adam Rittenberg from ESPN.com. Go ahead.
Oh, Mario, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I just wondering how much college football you've watched here the last few weeks or plan to watch. I know now you guys are in camp, but I'm just wondering how much of that have you watched and just kind of gauged how people are handling such an unusual season so far and trying to apply that to your team with such a short season coming up.
No, that's a great question. We spend an enormous amount of time. I mean, just extraordinary amount of time watching college football, making calls, talking to people, having them give us their best on their protocols, issues, maybe things that have prevented issues so that we can continue just logging data and giving ourselves the best chance. So we actually built it into our day. Tomorrow we'll have our full, the 4 hours that we can use within our 20-hour rule, but you have 4 per day max. But we built it so that our guys can watch college football because there's a lot of learning that has been done and to be done in the coming weeks, knowing that, people are they're going to make great plays. They may make mistakes, but you sure like to learn them before feeling them. So, we certainly appreciate the opportunity and have taken full advantage of it.
Next question, Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Hi, Mario. Curious, what was your offensive line? If you could maybe give us your list of guys that you went with the first team offensive line. I think a lot of people are curious what that looks like with all 5 positions opened up.
Yeah, it goes by rack, but at left tackle you'll see a rotation of Stephen Jones. You'll see TJ Bass out there. You'll see George Moore. You'll see Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith, so that you guys have the info, is a defensive tackle for us, and that's what he's going to be here. He has, he's done the unselfish thing and has volunteered himself to help on the offensive line, and he has been doing a great job. Jonah has done a really good job as well. Salah has jumped out there as well. So all those guys are getting reps at tackle. Who's taking the first ones? Most of the time it's going to be Steven. It's going to be George. It's going to be TJ. It's going to be Salah. But we're not going to hesitate. Dawson Jaramillo got reps out there. The interior, we've mixed it up a little bit as well. But Forsyth, Walk, TJ Bass, Dennis, Harper, Salah. And that's not in order. But it gives you an idea that we're looking at 5 to 6 guys per every 2 to 3 positions. I don't think I can give you a settled one for a while just because it's changed from drill to drill. And then we feel really comfortable with those guys playing that. That's how we've trained them, even during Zoom time, from the springtime up until now.
Next question, James Kripia, Oregonian.
Mario, to the secondary, particularly at free safety and nickel, what was the rotation at those two?
Well, we played both Pickett and McKinley out there at strong and at free, the boundary and field like we call it, but also saw guys rotating in there. Steve Stevens has done a great job. So has Bennett. Williams, J.J. Greenfield's a little bit nicked up. Nothing serious. I think he'll be back tomorrow. Just a minor strain, so we expect him to be back there as well. Jamal Hill took reps exclusively at nickel today. He will get reps on the back end as well. Dante Manning was he got a little bit nicked up in our conditioning drills. Nothing that's going to hold him out for more than 1 or 2 days, but he'll be playing strictly corner. A lot of people were asking if he's playing out there on the backside of on the boundary or something like that, but he's not. He's going to be strictly rotating with the corners. So I think that covers the safety position. Yep, Jordan Happel joins us tomorrow, so we'll be in good shape.
Tyson Alger from The Athletic.
Hey Mario, just from the time that he got here back in February, March, how have you and Coach Moorhead been able to kind of just develop your guys' relationship and chemistry? And obviously, the first time you've had a new guy in that position during your time here, and just curious how that kind of worked out heading into today's first practice.
Well, he's made it a great transition because he's a tremendous professional. So credit to him because he's done it at all levels as a position coach, as a coordinator, and as a head coach. So he understands what comes with this regiment. He's been outstanding. And it's besides the wealth of knowledge, his coaching acumen, the guy's an incredible teacher. I mean, like off the charts. But what he's also done is he's brought a presence with him. He's brought the head coaching background. So it's great to have a guy like that on staff that you could bounce some things off of that revolve around the head coaching position. So all in all, just really, I would say we're honored and privileged to have him as well as the rest of the coaching staff. We're blessed, guys. We have our coaching staff. They're awesome. They're doing a hell of a job.
Ryan Thorburn from the Register Guard.
Mario, it's great to hear you talking about actual football stuff, but
Football, Ryan, football.
I was curious, what was this morning like? How early do you guys have to get in there to get tested, and how long does that process take, and how did it go?
Actually, our day doesn't start much different than what it would usually start. When you look at the processes, because it takes about 45 minutes to get everybody tested and get results within 50, 55 altogether when it's done. It's really not much different because while one group is meeting, the other one quickly does their test and gets taped. We have a mobility screening area where we get guys stretched out, warmed up, an activation area. Our sports science department is off the charts. They do some things that are really unique to get the bodies right. So it works out really well because what you do is you take those two things, they're going on at the same time by offense, by defense, special teams. And then after that 45, 50-minute period, you switch. So your day really isn't much longer at all. It's actually the structure of it was really, really good, really positive feedback from the players. So everything went real smooth this morning.
Julian Minnesota from KZI.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for doing this. I had a question on the offensive line. Coming in with basically a brand new group of guys that are going to get a lot more in-game experience this year. Do you approach the offensive line guys in fall camp differently than you would for like a group last year? Are you more patient with them? What's kind of the mindset going into dealing with a new offensive line like you guys have?
We don't lower the expectation. We don't. And I think the way we practice, since the day that we had the privilege of being, since I had the privilege of being the head coach here, our drill work is two-spotted. So that means whether you just got here today and you're a third and fourth team guy or you're a first and second team guy, frontliner, you're getting the same amount of reps against the same looks. Technically, we are structured. When we do Indy, it's lights out from second one to the final one. So they have logged a lot of reps. I know traditionally it's and maybe it's not traditional to think that you should expect the same from a younger crew. We do because we've seen them in action. We haven't altered install one bit. Not only have they handled it well, they've actually excelled. They've done a really good job. And they've done a good job against, I would say, in tougher situations because we are moving them just because we think strategically you have to do that because of the challenges of the season. You have to have guys play different positions in the case of they have to come game time. I feel really good about these guys, and I mentioned to the team out there, these guys work really hard today now. These guys, they went at it. You got to pull back on them, which is exciting. We talked about things we weren't willing to compromise, and, they get it. They get it, and they are going to challenge each other. We're going to throw the kitchen sink at the offensive line and expect them to respond in practice, just like we'll throw the kitchen sink at the secondary and everybody else.
AJ Jacobson, Rivals.
Hey, Coach. Want to talk with you a little bit about the tight end position. Cam McCormick, senior.
Can I show you guys one thing real quick, though? Here's my whistle. How about that? That's my new whistle. I thought it was pretty cool. Thought I'd share that with you guys.
That's outstanding, but that's a red whistle. What's with that?
You know what? You're absolutely right. Kenny Farr, we'll have to have a chat with him later.
Coach, talking about the tight end position, you got Cam McCormick, back off injury, senior, Hunter Camp Moyer, senior, Spencer Webb, sophomore, Patrick Herbert, and then DJ Johnson moved last year. Big depth there all of a sudden. How's that thing shaking out here heading into this camp?
Well, the nice thing about it, we have a lot of personnel groupings in this system, and we have a lot of sets involving multiple tight ends. And guys like Tyler Nanny, Cooper Schultz, a couple of guys that have taken the walk-on route here, the preferred walk-on route. These guys are really good players also. DJ, he had gotten injured in the summer. He's almost full go now. He participated in probably 60 to 70% of practice. He's another big body that can go. You mentioned a lot of guys there that have, I would say, different skill sets, but same mentality, and they could do everything required of them at the position in this system. I'm excited about the depth. These guys provide a lot of depth and a lot of playmaking ability at a position which obviously they're specializing in. Plus, special teams-wise, you want to have 6, 7, 8 bodies that are 6'4" to 6'6", 6'7", that weigh 230 to 270 because they're on your cover teams, they're on your return teams, right? As simple as your PAT field goal wing positions. These guys do a lot of things. They serve a lot of roles. So they're all going to get action, and they're all attacking this the right way.
Max Torres, Scoop Duck.
Oh, sorry about that. We got it. Hey, Mario.
Working for me.
I know you talked about Tyler Shuck being the first guy taking those reps today. Just from being around him and maybe this first practice with all the guys, compare the leadership style of him to Justin a little bit, if you would.
Oh, I don't get into that. I just, I think they're, obviously Justin is a phenomenal football player, has already done it and is doing it again on Sundays. It's fun to see. And it's great to see Tyler finally get his opportunity, because in the opportunities he got while Justin was our starting quarterback, he shined. He really did. And he's got a lot of similar characteristics, especially in terms of just resiliency, toughness, work ethic. Those are the things that, that combined with a presence is something that you can never compromise the quarterback position. He has shown it from day one, both in the spring and then in the little work that we spent time together on this past summer and the past couple of weeks. This guy's really good. He's a special guy, special quarterback. I feel the same way about the rest of the quarterback crew. Some of the young guys are swimming right now, but that's okay. They swam the right way. At least they were swimming in the right direction. Talented, they get it. And I think, between Tyler and a guy like Anthony Brown that's had so much experience, we feel really good about the quarterback position. We feel like we're in great hands.
Eric Scopel, 247.
Hey, Coach. A couple questions here. First, any unexpected roster turnover we might not be aware of? And then the second, you mentioned a couple guys that were dinged up. I guess state of the overall health of your team. Anybody that you think could miss extensive part of fall camp or even games?
Not yet. I think we'll have a better idea, in the next couple of weeks and get that to you. I know it's difficult when you guys aren't around, to get to this stuff to you on a daily basis and let you see it for yourself. But as we get all this information tightened up, we'll get that to you. Not expecting any major changes, but certainly if there is, we will make sure to get that.
James with the Oregonian.
Mario, a couple other personnel matters. I saw, I didn't want to read too much into anything. You didn't mention Sampson the other day when you mentioned the inside linebackers, but I didn't want to read too much into that. If not to, I just wanted to make sure he was still around and obviously in the mix at weak side. I saw the D tackles as a group lost a lot of weight. I didn't know if that was a conscious decision. And lastly was special teams get overlooked a lot, but you have a lot to shore up on either punt return or the kicking game. You have a couple of preferred walk-ons, like punter and kicker, just what the competition is going to be like at those spots.
Yeah. Well, with Sampson, there's some things that he has been taking care of, and he's a guy that I think we all know, we all love him, very tight and personal with him. And, he may have some things to figure out personally. And, there's a possibility that he may not play this year, but until that's confirmed, I'd like to grant him his space until we figure that out for him. In terms of our D tackles losing weight, we've shed some weight, but if you look at our body comps are considerably better than what they've been before. We've added muscle mass. We've shed some fat. We move better. We're more explosive, and we range anywhere from, as light as a 278s to as heavy as a 325s, 330. So I feel like we're in really good shape there. I know you had one more question. If you could repeat that one, please. Specialists. Okay. The specialists, we did white the field goals today and punting, and we went 5 for 6 on field goals. Cam went 3 for 3 on his. Looks really good. Time off has really helped him. The operation, the snapper, the holder, they've been consistent, and they continue to be consistent. We punted the ball and fielded the ball. Feel good about our returners back there. All those guys can return, from Travis to Micah, Chris Hudson. Demo's done a good job on the kickoff return. I don't know if we're going to have him on the punt return stuff, but we certainly got some guys back there that we feel can certainly make an impact in the return game. So all in all, because the specialists usually we start a little bit later with them, we went right to it today. They responded well.
Tyson with the Athletic.
Anthony's obviously coming in to this program to try to win a position. How have you kind of just noticed the difference in Tyler, the backup quarterback, versus Tyler, the I'm in a quarterback competition quarterback, just his approach and just the way that he's kind of embraced that? And just a sidebar from that is just, what does Anthony offer at that position that's just might be different than what you have?
Sure. I think Tyler's always attacked that. I don't think he's ever sat back, even while Justin was here. Yeah, we all knew Justin was going to start on Saturdays, but that's just not Tyler's personality. And now that he's in a different role, it looks like he's just exponentially, I don't know, like his presence, his command is just, it's pretty special. And I think we have a special one in Anthony Brown as well. So I think it's what you want. I feel it's exactly what you want, the quarterback position, after going from a 4-year starter to a new quarterback. You want to be competitive. You want it to be with good players that are good people, that understand that it's going to be a competition, and also understand that because of Tyler's time here that he starts off as a starter going in, and let it play out and do things the right way.
We got time for 2 more. Adam Rittenberg, ESPN.com.
Yeah, Mario, where do you see the improved recruiting you guys have had showing up the most on your team? I know it's early in camp, but do you sense an area or two where you see that really reflecting?
Well, I think our front seven is mature in the trenches, now has a lot of experience on the edges, and I think you see some depth in there as well. Even though you had some departures in the secondary, you got some really, really talented young guys that know what they're doing. I thought that's what stood out the best or the most today than any other thing, was the fact that it didn't look like practice one, from knowing what we're doing. Yeah, we're rusty technique-wise and fundamentally just because we haven't done it full speed against each other. But in terms of knowing what to do, how to do it, and why we got to do it that way, I think the why and the what to do is pretty good. How to do it, we got to get better at. So I think that stuff impressed me. I think the young offensive linemen are really good. The backs are now a veteran group, but they continue to improve. I think our quarterback situation is great. I'm really impressed with the development of the wide receivers in a short amount of time. I think Coach McClendon has been a difference maker at that position. Those guys are not only playing hard, they're regimented, they're structured, they're demanded to a level where they are holding each other accountable. And it's showing up in a lot of big plays that they're making. It's showing up in their leadership. So I think those are the spots that they kind of jump out. I'm sure I'm missing a guy or two, but it's there's a lot of guys that are ready not only because of talent, but because they've put in time. And I think you're going to see a really good team come kick off game 1.
Last question, Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Yeah, Mario, I'm curious, from March till now, you've continued to say that Tyler is going to start with the ones at quarterback. What's the confidence in him that he can handle you going out publicly and saying, hey, he's going to open up at 1, and then the rest of the QB room also knowing that they're still in the race? Where's that confidence come from that those guys can handle both those kind of comments from you?
Well, at the end of the day, you got to be able to handle honesty. That's the brutal, honest truth. It's the bottom line. The guy's been here for 2+ years. He's put in time when he's put in time. He's done well. And we got some new guys in the room. I don't see even a hint of it going or the starting point being anything other than what it should be, which is what it is right now. So I guess in terms of confidence in saying that, it's just confidence and truth, right? That's how I see it.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, guys. Good seeing you. Appreciate you being here via Zoom, and look forward to seeing you guys again. Have a great day. Be safe.